How's it going, everyone? Indy Sean 45 coming at you. This week is Notre Dame's annual Shamrock Series game, a game they've been playing annually since 2009. Now, for those of you who don't follow Notre Dame football closely enough or know what that is, it's a neutral site game, but pretty much what it is a Notre Dame home game that they play on the road. And this year's Shamrock Series is going to be played against the Purdue Boilermakers at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Now, this past weekend, Notre Dame got a lot of attention for playing Michigan since it was the last time those two schools were going to be playing for the foreseeable future as far as scheduled meetings go. And rightfully so. I mean, it was the top two winningest programs of all time in college football history squaring off. So, of course, it was going to get a lot of attention. But what a lot of people don't realize is Purdue has been a longtime rival of ours, and on top of that, an in-state rival. So it's been pretty big. Lately, not so much, but regardless, rival nonetheless. It doesn't matter how big it is. But I don't know if many people realize this, but this Saturday night is going to be the last time that we play the Boilermakers for a while. That series is also going to be coming to a temporary end. But we've been playing Purdue every year uninterrupted since 1946. So it's going to be a little bit of a bummer to see that game off the schedule as well. Maybe not as big a loss as Michigan, but still, it's a well-known game that us Irish fans are used to seeing every year, and it's going to be going on hiatus. But anyway, getting right into the game itself, Purdue is 1-1 on the season. The week one they had a nice little shootout against Western Michigan, which they ended up winning by 9 points. Last week against Central Michigan, they got beat up pretty well. I think the final score was 38-17 in that one. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really don't know how much of a preview this is going to be because I really don't watch a lot of Purdue football. I just go by articles that I read and the stat sheet. And I know the game isn't played on the stat sheet, but hey, give me a break. But one thing that all of us Irish fans do know is in recent years, this team has given us a couple of scares. In 2012, it took a field goal in the closing seconds to get the job done. Last season down in West Lafayette, this team just came out firing on all cylinders, caught us off guard. They took a 7-point lead into the fourth quarter, and it took a couple of late scores for us to get the job done in that one. So, with the last scheduled meeting between the two of us until 2020, Purdue's going to look to do the same thing here. Just let it all hang out and just try to pull off the upset. So they're definitely not a team to be taken lightly, despite them going or winning only one game last year. We're not in any position to be taking any team lightly. Now, going by the numbers with Purdue through these first two games of the season, it hasn't been looking pretty for the most part. Both offensively and defensively, they're pretty much last in every category you can think of. Well, not last, but at the bottom of the barrel. They're far down there. This is a team that has really struggled defending the run to this point. And overall, I think this is a Purdue team that is still trying to find their identity. They've gone through a coaching staff change, and they've seen a lot of new faces come in, and they're still trying to gel together and find out who they truly are. All I know is this is definitely not the same Purdue teams from the Drew Brees days. So they're still trying to get it together. But so far, in my opinion, just judging by the numbers alone, their two biggest contributors, I think, have been quarterback Danny Etling and running back Rasheem Mostert. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. If not, I apologize. Purdue's most of Purdue's offensive production has come from them. I think Etling has thrown for about 200 yards, and Mostert, I think he's ran for about 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, this is a team that's still trying to rebuild as well. But I do know from what I've read, they have a pretty good secondary with the standout there being safety Frankie Williams. But look, the way I see this game going down is simply this. One, as usual, got to protect the football. Can't be having any turnovers because they will hurt us, even against a team like Purdue. So far in the season, the Irish are +6, I believe, in the turnover ratio. Love to see that. Probably my most favorite statistic to see so far, to be honest with you. But also, I see this as a great opportunity for the Irish to reestablish their run game and get that going. Because as I said earlier, Purdue so far has shown that they cannot stop a run. Um, I've been saying a bunch in these first 2 weeks, and even in my season preview, uh, the three-headed monster we have as our running back core. Um, they had a little stumble against Michigan last week, only getting about 54, 55 yards on the ground. So this is our chance to reestablish that and get it going. Because the more weapons you have, the merrier. And it would really benefit the Irish to have a balanced out offense, being able to run and pass the ball effectively. And I do think that will happen in this game. Because Purdue so far has proven that they can't stop the run. Passing really hasn't been too different, even though there's been signs of, some flashes from what I've been reading of them being able to stop the pass. But, we're not Central Michigan. We're not Western Michigan. We potentially have a Heisman candidate in Everett Golson. Yeah, I know it's only 2 games in. Don't hold me to that. He's got a lot to prove still. But he's been really sharp to start the year, and I really think he's going to give Purdue a lot of trouble this Saturday night. And also defensively, through 2 games, Brian Van Gorder has been right on when he says that our defense is a year ahead of schedule. And for the first 2 games, it showed because they performed really well. So the way I see this game going down, I really don't think we're going to be underestimating Purdue. I think we're going to be come out firing on all cylinders, and we should really have no problem putting them away. We're undefeated so far in Shamrock Series games, and I don't see this one being any differently. But for this game, I really would like to see us cross the 50-point margin. At least I'd like to see us at least get to 50 points. I know this is a team that we can do it against. So even though we were able to pitch a shutout against Michigan last weekend, I don't know if that's going to happen because I do know that if we can get some subs in there, Van Gorder will do so. So just based on a lot of subs coming in late in the game, I think Notre Dame wins this one pretty handily. And my score prediction: Notre Dame 50, the Purdue Boilermakers 14. So we should have no problem winning this one. And that's all I have for you guys as far as a preview goes. Also, on a little side note, and I actually just saw a brief story about this on the internet today, but there's really been no mention of anything in regards to the academic scandal. If you guys want my honest opinion on that, there's really no reason that it should be dragged out this long. And honestly, whether the results are good or bad, if we get all 5 players back or if they all get kicked out of Notre Dame, we need to hear the results pretty soon. I mean, there's we got to be able to, regardless of the results, we got to move on from this. There's no excuse that this should have been dragged out for as long as it has been. I mean, it's ridiculous. Just if these guys did something wrong, kick them out, or if they didn't do anything wrong, just bring them back. Simple as that. But who knows? I mean, I didn't go to a 4-year university. I don't know how this stuff is supposed to work. All I know is I just really don't think it should have been dragged out this long. But if you guys have a different opinion, let me know in the comments. That's just mine. So it's either these guys are here or they're gone. Just release the results and get it over with. So with that said, guys, this is ND Sean 45 signing off. That's all I have for you. I will catch you guys in the recap of the Shamrock Series game. And until then, as always, go Irish, baby!